Hello class 10. Once again I am before you with the chapter The Sectors of the Indian Economy. In my previous video I told you and discussed with you historical change in sectors, and today I will tell you that how the tertiary sector it became the important and dominant sector, but what is the total production and employment in the three sectors and which sector is at the top, and over the years what changes have been made or can be seen in the pattern observed in the developed countries that we have observed in the historical change in sectors. Now we will see in India that how primary sector is still playing the dominant role, and why still more than half of our population they are employed in primary sector, and but contribution is coming only 1/4 from primary sector, but half of our population they are engaged or they are working in primary sector. So what is the reason why the other two sectors are not able to increase employment for the growing number of workers? So let us discuss primary, secondary and tertiary sectors in India. What is their role in the contribution to GDP as well as in providing employment? So there are graphs that you must see in the book, page number 24 and 25, which will show you the GDP by primary, secondary and tertiary sector. And this was given as 2 years have been taken as the base year, 1970-71 and 2010-11. So in 70-71, because after independence the production in all the three sector was very little, or it was not to be mentioned, because all the three sectors they were at their initial stage. So in that time also what we see that primary sector was the important or dominant sector, and more than 70% of our population that time they were engaged or earning their living from primary sector. And secondary sector, that time we were started the industrialization process, and it was started in a very limited manner, because of we were not having so much money to invest and to set up various types of industries to cater or to fulfill the growing needs of the growing population. So that time our population grew rapidly, and that is why we were not able to produce the things, and so we depended what we were exporting the raw material, because due to scarcity of the resources we were not able to set up industries and to produce the things, goods that the people were needing or that the people were in need of. So but later on what we saw that 2 decades back that tertiary sector is rising very rapidly, and contribution to GDP by the tertiary sector has also increased, and the figure shows that more than 30% to the GDP is provided by the tertiary sector. So today I am going to discuss what are the reasons behind this rising importance of tertiary sector. So first reason is of course कि population grew rapidly, and that made the people to ask for more services that were required or that were needed by them to live their life properly. So what are the services that they required? More schools, more sanitation or health facilities or hospitals, more transport, communication, banks, etc. These were asked or these were needed by the growing number of people. So all these means post offices, security services, administrative services, these all grew or increased rapidly, and which made the tertiary sector to develop fast. Second reason is the production increased in primary as well as in secondary sector, because in primary sector what happened, due to modern methods traditional methods were stopped, and now farmers the production cost increased, and it made the farmers to grow more on the same plot, and the production, and now they were having surplus, and they needed all types of services so that they can get more money or more profit and sell their produce in the market and send them to secondary sector. So in this way, primary sector's production also increased, and secondary sector also started making machines, fertilizers, pesticides, etc., to help the primary sector, or as demanded by the primary sector. So trade, transports, storage and other services include, and in this way the greater development or growth in primary and secondary sector made the tertiary sector to grow rapidly. Third reason is why tertiary sector grew rapidly is the growth in income. The income level of the people increased both in primary as well as in secondary sector, and in this way more income of the people made them to demand more services, and so their demand increased. More shopping, more malls, more cinemas, more multiplexes, hospitals, private schools, chain of hospitals, chain of hotels, and in this way professional training centers, IT industry, etc. And in this way it changed the entire scene, and it was happening mostly in cities and especially in big cities, that because in there multinational brand or companies also came, and they started giving more salary to the people, and due to rise in salary the people demand increased. They asked for all these services which I mentioned before you. Now fourth reason is the services such as based on information and communication technology. Means we have become accustomed, or we are using the services. Means presently suppose I am taking your class because of the service that I am getting from the information and technology, and due to the satellite which is operating and working, and which made us to ask for these services and to make our life easier and faster. So that is why as the people's life become, and they became busy in several types of activities, and new services came which was based on information and technology, and which made the people to ask for the services which is provided by the tertiary sector. So we will see about these new services and reasons for their expansion in later in chapter 4, which will tell you how it happened or increased the demand of services, means when you will read the chapter globalization. So in this way what we have seen that these are the reasons which made the tertiary sector to grow rapidly and to contribute more in the GDP. But the people, those who are engaged in tertiary sector, all of them are not earning equally. So what is the reason behind this unequal treatment or unequal earning of the people? That we will discuss and see in my next class. Okay, thank you.